Bullet Club.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time with us. This is Lealan Presents. I'm Leanne and this is Alan, and we're here, as you've seen from the title card, with our reactions to AEW's latest pay-per-view, Dynasty. AEW Dynasty. So previously did predictions for this. I'll put a link somewhere on the screen to that. So if you haven't watched these before, as you should have worked out, it's a reactions to the pay-per-view. So if you're planning to watch the pay-per-view, go watch that first and then come back and check out our reactions first, because we'll probably be making references to them so you know where we are. Yeah, so he's staring at me. Dynasty took place in Philadelphia on the 6th of April 2025. So we're recording this the next day because we didn't want to, well, we can't stay up that late because we're in the UK.
Technically, if we watched it live, it would have been the 7th of April here.
True, very true.
So
doesn't make
semantics.
Yes. But we'll get right into it anyway with the two matches that were on the 0 hour.
Which weren't in our predictions because they were announced post our recording of those. So we did go back as promised and adjusted. I adjusted the description of the predictions video to state who we thought, what the new match were and who we thought were going to win each one.
Yes. So we've got Crew and Nick Wayne versus Top Flight and AR Fox. There was just interference all over the place on this one.
Yeah.
It's quite a fun sort of warm-up match. Not a lot special to it, I suppose. But
No.
I mean, they're all good guys. They're all excellent wrestlers. A lot of high-flying stuff. Pretty good. Yeah. Apart from Nick Wayne, who's more grounded and hard.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his moments.
Yeah.
He does have his moments. Obviously, Mother Wayne gets involved as well, which is...
Yes. So, yeah, Mother Wayne kind of sets up the whole finish, which is fun, where she causes some interference, sort of pushes AR Fox out of the way, which allows Nick Wayne to hit Wayne's World on him and then pin him to win. So we have a win for Crew and Nick Wayne. Not the Crew, just Crew.
Yeah, Crew. The Legion of Foam, or the Legion of... What was I calling them?
Squish.
Squish, yeah, the Legion of Squish, because they got those really stupid
spiky,
looking
but they're
squish
soft.
jackets. Yeah. Legion of Squish.
Don't understand it.
In terms of predictions, we both predicted them to win, them being Crew and Nick Wayne, pronouns pal.
Yes.
And we both obviously got that one correct.
Yeah, so the idea that this sort of helps build up Nick Wayne for whatever fallout's going to happen between him and Christian.
Yeah, there's certainly a rift coming in the patriarchy somewhere, and it's obviously going to be interested to see if/when Killswitch returns, and what happens with Kip Sabian as well.
Yes, of course.
You know, are they going to try and just push Nick Wayne out, get Killswitch back in to replace Nick Wayne, and then it'll just be the three of them: Christian, Nick Wayne, Christian Killswitch, and Kip Sabian.
Yeah.
My brain just went blank for a second then.
Killswitch, the prodigal son.
Yeah. No, it'll be Kip Sabian first.
Cool. Okay, and then on to the second match of the 0 hour. We have Platinum Max Caster with his open challenge. So Max Caster, as he has done for a while, comes out and starts trying to get the crowd to chant, "Let's go, Max! You're the best wrestler alive."
See, it's not that hard.
And the crowd were doing it, which I think threw him off ever so slightly. But he brought it back by like stopping them and basically saying they got the inflection wrong and that they're just not doing a good job at it. Which I think that's the only thing you could possibly do, because the whole joke is that they're not going to chant it and they're chanting it because everyone loves a troll. So then he starts up for the open challenge and out comes Anthony Bowens.
It's better happen sooner or later.
Yes, and I guess being on a pay-per-view, it's sort of the right sort of time for it to happen. It had to be big.
Yeah.
So Anthony Bowens comes out. They have a bit of a shouting match, and Bowens throws the best wrestler alive certificate out.
Yeets that damn
Just
thing.
yeets it back. This was it was a really short match, but it was really satisfying.
I mean, all of the open challenge matches have been short, so I
Yes.
think it feels that you need to be.
Definitely.
You kind of undermine Anthony Bowens otherwise.
For sure. But Anthony Bowens came out. He looks so strong. He's accompanied by
Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn. Sorry, brain went blank. And yeah, they're back. They're still like doing scissor motions, but
they're not scissoring.
They're not scissoring.
I think it's probably ingrained in. He's been doing it for years. So it's kind of like a
So it's sort of, I guess it's a step backwards from it, but they're still showing being a team, I suppose.
On the other hand of that, you can still see that as because he's talking. Was it the pride of professional wrestling? I think he's calling himself. You can kind of see that as a peace sign, pride, peace. You want to sort of be coexisting with everyone. That could also kind of work in that favor too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So it's an elbow that gets Caster in the end. Very heavy looking elbow for Bowens. And Bowens pins Caster for the win.
Yeah. In terms of predictions, we predicted the mystery opponent to win.
Whoever
in this
it
case,
was,
it was Anthony Bowens. I guess the prediction of that is Max Caster was losing.
Yes.
I know what I really want to see now. One of these open challenges. Oh, we both got that correct. I should probably lead in with that. What I kind of want to see now, one of these open challenges, is have oh God, what was his name? The small guy from Jurassic Express. Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt come in and just beat the hell out of Max Caster because I think that would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious, yeah. Very good. So yeah, satisfying. And that brings us on to the main show.
Only 2 matches on the Zora, surprising,
but unusual.
Yeah, it was good.
It's fine. It's more than WWE
I think it's probably
pre-show.
It's probably because the main show of Dynasty went for 4 hours 20.
Yeah.
They usually keep it just under 4, but then have extra matches on the pre-show maybe, so they're kind of offsetting a little bit maybe.
Yeah, sort of match time totals up in the end.
I think so. That's what it felt like to me.
So our opening match on Dynasty is Will Ospreay versus Kevin Knight, and this is an Owen Hart tournament match in the first round.
I mean, if you're going to open a pay-per-view, do it right.
Oh yeah, and they did.
Right?
They did. It was a hell of an opening match. I've literally written that. Excellent. I mean, I haven't seen Kevin Knight personally very much because he's only recently come to AEW.
I've seen 2 matches so far, 1 singles, 1 tag match.
But what a wrestler! He's excellent, and really him and Will Ospreay gel very well.
Yeah.
Knight's clearly done his homework. He had answers for a lot of Ospreay's moves, which really shows his ring smarts, and is something that not many challengers to Will Ospreay have been able to do in the past. So we're showing some progression there, which is enjoyable to watch. Ospreay tried to hit the Styles Clash on Kevin Knight on the ramp.
Yeah, on the outside, yeah.
But Knight blocked it and countered it as an example. So Ospreay took the ramp instead. Always fun.
And he counted the Oscutter a few times as well.
He did, yeah. He's like ready for it. He knew what was coming. Yeah, it's good stuff. And then, yeah, so the finish comes with one of many attempted hidden blades. Connects this time.
Yeah. Oh, you crowned him with it too.
Yeah, so Ospreay hits hidden blade on Kevin Knight and pins him for a hard-fought win. And he moves on to the next round.
Next match, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Was it? I think the next match on that side of the bracket was Brody King and Osuke Takeshita. So it's probably going to be. They're really high into Takeshita right now, but I really want to see it be Brody King for a change.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
But it's going to be one of those two, and it's going to be a great match regardless. In terms of predictions, we did not bet against the home favourite of Will Ospreay because we are from Britain, obviously. And we both got that one correct.
Ospreay does end the match. He bows to Kevin Knight as a show of respect from back in Japan days, because they were obviously both wrestled in New Japan. And then they also shake hands, and it just looks so genuine, that respect between them, which is just really nice to see.
It's going to be great. Kevin Knight's going to go far.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
So our next match then, we have the Hurt Syndicate versus Big Bill and Bryan Keith.
They hurt people.
Yes, they hurt people, and they are tree-based. they hurt trees.
For?
Oh, why didn't I write this down? It's for the AEW Tag Team Championships. I didn't write it down, but I know it. Are you proud of me? I'm proud of me.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
So this was a fun match. I don't think Bryan Keith did a lot.
No, I seen Big Bill was kind of like the MVP of that team.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think Bryan Keith started in, but quickly came out. Yeah. And then Big Bill just cleans house. He shows that he can handle both these guys, but the Hurt Syndicate. And yeah, he's a real MVP. Not to discount MVP, who is also there. You can't really say it when MVP's there. Yeah, he's the equalizer for sure. Takes them on. and they just like hit each other for a while, and it's pretty much meat versus meat at that point, as long as Brian Keith is on the outside.
Yeah,
he's not.
We'll say that. I wouldn't say Shelton Benjamin would be classed as meat. Bobby Lashley definitely.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
That's not taking anything away from Shelton, obviously.
No, yeah, it was really good to see Big Bill come into his own there and wreck things, even if it didn't go exactly to plan, because he gets equalized in an unexpected way. So him and I think it was Bobby Lashley, they're on the outside, and all of a sudden, someone appears and attacks Big Bill from behind from the crowd.
Just clocks him in the face.
And it's MJF.
With the Dynamite Diamond Ring.
With the Dynamite Diamond Ring. And then he like does it. There's a very brief shot of him doing that. And then he's just...
He ducks down. Yeah.
And I was like, what just happened? I have no idea. But then he comes back up and he's laughing. So obviously he's still trying to be in the good books of the Hurt Syndicate. Trying to show Bobby Lashley that he's worth his salt, I suppose. Salt of the earth.
I was waiting for that. Yeah, I was waiting for that.
But that basically writes off Big Bill, leaving Brian Keith to fend for himself in the ring against both Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley. And it doesn't go well. Doesn't last that long. So, yeah, I think... I don't remember what the finishing move was, but I know Lashley delivered it.
It's probably a spear, I'd imagine. I honestly, I don't recall.
It was a bit of a whirlwind, that end.
Yeah, why have I not got a memory of that?
I don't know.
Okay, that's weird.
But yeah, so Bobby Lashley pins Brian Keith, and that is a win for the Hurt Syndicate, who retain their championships. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there was any doubt that, and that's what we predicted was going to happen.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that, unlike some other companies, cough, that AEW are putting different teams in for the Tag Team Championships. It's not just the same 3 teams being recycled out every month all the time, and it's like, oh my god, this is getting boring.
Yeah.
Big Bill and Brian Keith have never gone for the tag team titles as far as I can recall.
I think so.
No, I don't believe they have. Yeah. And seeing that is something different. Obviously, Big Bill was a tag team champion with Ricky Starks when he was in the company. I mean, yeah, it's good to see that there's different people can come in, like the Outrunners, for example. They challenged last month at Revolution. You got these guys there. Who's going to be next at Double or Nothing? You know, who's going to step up to the plate next? And I kind of hope that, going back slightly to Kevin Knight, that Kushida comes in, and I did comment this wrong the other day when we were doing a prediction of the international jet setters, the intergalactic jet setters.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will be good. That would be a nice little, like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So you'd have Kushida and Knight as the intergalactic jet setters going against the Hurt Syndicate. I think that'd be great.
Cool.
You know, 2 very different styles, definitely, because you got obviously Shelton and Bobby, the powerhouse, kind of slow, ground and pound, methodical team. Yeah. The Kushida and Kevin Knight are very much switch it up, fast-paced, high-flying, kind of boom, 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 you know? I think that'd be really cool.
Definitely. This sort of opens up a few other avenues as well. So Big Bill has basically shown that if he didn't get taken out by MJF, it wasn't a sure thing that Hurt Syndicate were going to win. So they could come back for the tag titles, maybe change it up, Big Bill with Jericho. Or something, maybe. Just maybe Brian Keith may be the weak link, or just needs to... I don't know.
I think we talked slightly about this in the predictions, the way there's a bit of a rift at the moment in the winning tree. That could be it. There could be Jericho teams with Big Bill. Somehow Big Bill accidentally clocks Jericho. Jericho takes the hit, and then Jericho loses his mind.
Yeah.
And he starts beating up on Big Bill and kicks him out of the winning tree. You know, that could be a way to split that faction.
We also now have Big Bill has a reason to be very unhappy with MJF. So there's that opening up as well as a possible storyline to go down.
Yes, there's so many different... But Leanne, AEW doesn't do stories, apparently.
Apparently.
Have you seen this WrestleMania build?
I know. There we go. But yeah, so there's potential for stuff going down.
Yep.
All right, and we move on to our next match. We have Mercedes Mone versus Julia Hart. And this is another first round Owen Hart tournament match.
In the women's tournament, obviously.
Obviously in the women's. Yeah, they're not going to do mixed.
Yeah, winner of this takes on Will Ospreay. Like, what the hell?
This wasn't a bad match.
No, Julia carried it. Let's be perfectly honest. Straight off the bat, Monet screwed up quite a few times. Julia Hart carried this damn match.
Yeah, she did, and did it.
And she's only 23.
Amazingly. I loved was it the tarantula? So
you might have seen that before.
I don't think I've seen that. So it's like a submission hold, but like tangled up in the ropes.
So it's not technically legal.
No, so she can only hold it for the 4.5 seconds.
There's a wrestle, I think they mentioned it at Dynasty actually, that Taz was locked in that by the wrestle Tajiri. who would do it all the time. The Japanese buzzsaw. Tajiri was in WWF, WWE, he was in ECW, obviously Japan, he's a Japanese wrestler. But that was one of his go-to moves, the tarantula.
It's impressive looking. I don't know how anyone could not be uncomfortable in that move.
I think the problem with Julia is she's a little bit short to reach down fully, and Tajiri was short, but for some reason he was able to always hook it, and he would always be quite flat against the ropes. But Julia had a bit like an arch out. Not obviously criticizing, because it's the first time she's probably done it, but like or sort of in the live match. TV, but Tajiri, when you see him, it's like, oh my god,
wow,
you know.
Yeah, so you've got to account for different like distance between ropes and different body shapes and all sorts of things there.
And your opponent stonewalling you.
Yeah.
Say no more. Whoops. Monty Python sketch. Say no more. Say no more. Know what I mean? Know what I mean?
So, getting to the finish, I suppose. Julia had, I'm not sure what it was. It was a submission move of some kind on Mercedes Mone.
Is it the Heartless?
It might have been. She managed to counter it, but then Julie got another one on, and it was sort of, there was a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, they were kind of switching between was it the Money Statement, I think they're calling it now, and the Heartless. They were trying to...
going back and forth with those. And then it ends with Mercedes Mone putting Julia in. It was some sort of crucifix pin type thing.
I don't know if it was a crucifix or a seatbelt kind of move. Yeah, it was a very interesting pin. Yeah. I've seen it before, but I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
Modified crucifix seatbelt. There we go.
Modified crucifix belt.
Yes. And unfortunately pins Julia to win.
Boo!
And proceed to the next round of the Owen Hart tournament.
Well, let's face it, she's going to be facing Athena, and Athena's going to rip her arms off and beat her with a bloody end.
Yes.
In terms of predictions, you did predict Mercedes to win. I wanted Julia to win, so I picked that as one as well. Therefore, I take the buy on that one, and then I guess that correct. Did I say that we got Syndicate right? I can't remember.
I think so.
I think so.
If not, you have now.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's covered.
Let's see how long Leanne's streak's going for, because so far she got them all right. Let's see how long it lasts.
We'll see. So our next match is the Death Riders versus Rated FTR for the AEW World Trios Championships. Another great match. A lot of character work going on here.
Especially with Dax.
Oh, for sure. So Dax starts in the ring, and he's not in there for very long and gets sort of caught up in the corner, ends up back in his corner. Gets
you could see the anger and frustration,
Cope gives him a pep talk and then tags himself in, and Dax stands on the outside looking a bit sad, but this is fine. A bit later on, he gets his confidence back and steals a tag to get back in when Cash is trying
Was it confidence or frustration?
It could be both, but to me it looked like he was like, all right, I'm ready, let's go.
It's clear Cash was looking at Cope to tag him, and Dax just kind of goes
whoops,
straight in front of Cope's hand to tag him in, and even Cope was like,
but he gets in and he does fine. So you were sort of expecting him to do something wrong and like for it to all blow up, but you did great. He was very Dax, of course. There were some fun moments. We had a moment where Dax and Claudio were legal, and you ended up with 3 submission moves in.
Yeah, I think it was 2 sharpshooters and I think it was a crossface.
Yeah, but both Dax and Claudio were on the giving end of various ones. So nothing legal was happening. That was fun. But then that sort of devolved into, because they were facing each other
just a
in these sharpshooters, and just literally slapping each other's faces for a while, which reminded me of like playground teenage fights. But it's fine. It just shows the emotion and all that stuff, doesn't it? We had at one point Dax was in a brutalizer. Pac was putting the brutalizer on Dax. You've got Cope being restrained by Claudio. Yeah. And then Yuta trying to restrain Cash on the ropes, but Cash instead like drags Yuta over the ropes and launches him into Dax. And
to break the move, basically.
To break the move, which is pretty fun. Just using.
You can kind of see it coming, and it's like, are they? It looks like Yuta's going to try and force it back, and it wasn't just quite as clear cut. And I was like, oh, they're going to do. Wait, are they? Oh, there it goes. You know, it was kind of like that, and I kind of like that. It was like that kind of, are they, aren't they? Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen?
Yeah, the fighting against. It's not like Yuta's just a rag doll to be tossed around. He's he's doing a great job.
I think
though
obviously being the
get
smallest
boots.
guy in the match, it allows him to be able to be that
Yeah.
ragdoll per se.
For sure. Then at the end, it's after a long, hard battle, Yuta hits a psycho knee on Dax and pins him to win.
This is after Cope and Dax collide and smack heads.
Oh, they did.
Because like Cope, I think Cope was in the corner, Dax was in front. It looked like Cope was going to spear Dax. I think it was Yuta pushed Cope from behind. They collided, smacked heads. Cope fell down, either rolled up and got dragged out of the ring, and then obviously they take it out on Dax.
Very clearly like an accidental.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the end of the match anyway.
So yeah, in terms of that, we both predicted Death Riders to retain, and that's what we got.
Yeah. Wait, and then so Dax, after obviously being the one to get pinned, he's on the ground.
Clearly disappointed, frustrated.
Cope and Cash.
He's not coping well.
He's not, they help him up. It's all a nice moment. They have a hug. And then Dax tombstones Cope.
Was it Tombstone or just normal power? I think it was normal
thought it was
driver.
a tombstone, but I could be wrong.
I think it was normal power driver.
Power driver. All right, that one. And then sets up the concerto.
Yeah, because he dragged him in, just lifted and spiked. So yeah, normal power driver.
Okay.
Cash is like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm. So Dax sets up the concerto, but offers the chair to Cash to do it. Cash grabs the chair, throws it down, and shoves Dax. So it's like, oh yeah, it's fine, everything's good. But then he helps Cope up, and then they hit a shatter machine.
He left here, here we go.
Yep. And then Dax hits another pile driver onto the chair.
Onto the chair. Did they spike that one, or was that just normal pile driver? I think they spiked it.
I have no idea.
I think it might have been a spike.
I think that was normal.
No, I think it was a spike because Dax held him for a while, and then Cash went up to the top, and they spiked him on the chair.
Okay.
If I remember rightly.
And then 2 concertos. Heel FTR.
Heel FTR. So Cope's obviously going to take some time.
Yes.
Some time off or whatever, I'd imagine.
They got they brought out like the neck brace and the stretcher, and Cash just put the neck brace on himself and put himself on the stretcher, and then Dax was pretending to do CPR on him.
That's hilarious.
It's like very funny.
Hilarious. I mean, I'm all in for this FTR.
Yeah.
But I think that this kind of goes down the route now that Cope needs someone to help him take out FTR.
Mm-hmm.
And logically, and I don't know how they're going to get there with this one, but if the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or better the devil, you know, could we see a reunion of Cope and Christian Cage?
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe 2 of the best tag teams in the world, FTR and Edge and Christian.
It feels like a stretch right now.
But we don't know what's happening with the patriarchy. They're obviously setting this stuff up with Nick Wayne.
Yeah.
And what's going on with Christian? Like, how is this going to play out? And Cope's obviously going to be obviously with the concerto. They're going to probably keep him up for at least a month, I reckon. Yeah. This might not go anywhere until All In. You know, that's in July, and that might be when the match comes, and that might be it. You know, that might be the oh my god, it's Christian and Cope.
Yeah, might be.
Or Cope and Cage.
Cope and Cage. The Cope Cage.
Cope Cage. Cage Cope. Cool.
Cool. Next match.
Yep.
We've got Toni Storm versus Megan Bayne for the AEW Women's World Championship. So Toni Storm has a whole like Rocky montage thing, which is great. And
that was great.
Luther is basically dressed up as a coach, which is amazing. Yeah. I love it. This is a really fun match. Megan Bayne is pretty good.
Savage.
She is savage.
She's brutal. She's a hard-hitting woman for definite.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like this is definitely not the last we've seen of her.
Oh, no. I think the only downside of having this match this early and having it come back is that in my mind, and we're not going to spoil anything just yet, but I feel, from my prediction, that she has to lose.
It's too soon.
Does it necessarily take the wind out of her sails? No. But it's certainly not a good look in the sense of, well, you're this all-powerful, domineering person.
Yeah.
Why did you lose that match? You know, it's,
Yeah, the whole match sort of feels very much like an uphill struggle for Toni.
Penelope Ford's with her as well.
Yeah, Penelope Ford. She's there, and she's trying to interfere, distracting the ref, but then Luther just carries her out.
That was great.
Just lifts her up over his shoulders and carries her out to the back. Just while yelling back to Toni, "Get her!" Which is great.
Kind of evening those odds, which is nice.
Definitely. So the what was it? Something I did write down was we had Megan Bayne kicking out at 1 after 2 hip attacks and a Storm Zero.
Yeah.
And that just shows what we were saying about that power that this woman has.
That resilience and the toughness.
Gonna go a long way.
Yeah.
But then towards the end, while she's got the upper hand after that kick out, she tries for, I'm not 100% sure this is the right name of the move, the final descent? There's something descent. I may have missed the name of it because they didn't say it when she actually managed to hit it.
No.
They said it before and I'd forgotten by the time she did it.
Yeah.
So
she did attempt it a few times.
Look it up at some point. But Toni Storm counters and rolls her up in a small package, pinning Megan Bayne to win and retain the AEW Women's World Championship.
Yeah. Which is right, because obviously it's that small package thing again, isn't it?
Yes.
It's the way she beat Mariah May to regain the title back at Grand Slam in February in Australia.
She's the queen of the small package.
Yeah, she's the queen of the small package. Was inside? Yeah, inside cradle, small package. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think and like I predicted Toni Storm to win. You predicted Megan Bayne to win, so you take a hit on that one.
Yeah. I should have probably put that as my desired result because it was sort of I had in my head what I feel is a good reasoning for it, and still think it could have been an interesting choice. But it was more it would be interesting if rather than I think this will happen.
Yeah, unfortunately you didn't class it, so you are taking the hit on that one, I'm afraid. But no, I think this definitely, and the fact that it was an inside cradle, small package, I want to sort of call it, that it kind of caught Megan Bayne off guard a little bit.
Yes.
And I think that doesn't necessarily make her look weak.
No.
It just means that she's got a bit of a way to go.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Toni took an opportunity.
Toni Storm's like the ultimate opportunist at this point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think that was a good way to do it. I think it was a good way to finish that off.
Yeah. I think there's a championship belt in the future for Megan Bayne.
Yeah, all you got to do is set Megan Bayne against Mercedes Moné.
Yes.
Just saying.
Oh, she'd wreck her.
Rip her arm off and beat her with the stump.
We've got a lot of arms ripping off this time around. Okay, on our next match then, we've got Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. So this is the opposite side of the bracket for the men's Owen Hart tournament.
Correct, yeah, that's right.
Match is words. So this one, I feel like I didn't write a huge amount on this one, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Kyle Fletcher's great. Mark Briscoe, while annoying, has got some skills. Fletcher did attack before the bell, so while Mark Briscoe's still on the way down, he runs up and gets on the offensive to get the upper hand. There was a moment where Mark Briscoe threw like 6 chairs into the ring.
Yeah.
So when he does the thing where he throws a chair into the ring over his shoulder, almost hitting the ref like every time. And the idea is he uses it as a springboard to leap over the ropes. But this time he threw a lot of chairs in.
My guess is that the referees have been telling him not to do it and they're telling him off, so he's kind of giving a distraction to use the chair.
Yes, because the ref was definitely like frustratedly picking up all these chairs, while Mark Briscoe then took a chair into the ring himself and set it up. But it didn't help because Kyle Fletcher then, I'm not sure what the move was, but definitely hit him onto the chair.
I think it was some sort of
brainbuster
or suplex of some sort.
Yeah. I'm not good with the names of wrestling moves.
Yeah, he sets it up, right?
Yeah, so he took that, and obviously the ref's back is turned because he's cleaning up all the chairs, so...
That worked against Briscoe, yeah.
Yep. Yes, there were some fun moments. It was a good match.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing necessary to write home
I think
about.
Fletcher's definitely showing his chops, and he's definitely showing why he's a future champ.
For sure.
He's really come a long way in such a short time. Especially since he used to be a tag team guy, now he's a singles guy. There was moments in this match where it did look like Briscoe was going to win, and some of those counts were really close, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
But getting to the finish then.
It was a good match.
Yeah, Fletcher hits a turnbuckle brainbuster on Mark Briscoe and pins him to win and
advance into the tournament, yeah. So that one also wasn't in the predictions video, but it was on the description for the predictions video because this was announced post our recording of that, and we both predicted Kyle Fletcher to go forward in the tournament. And so we both got that correct.
Wonderful. Okay.
Wunderbar.
Next we have Chris Jericho versus Bandido in a title versus mask match for the Ring of Honor World Championship. That's a lot of words.
That is a lot of words.
And I said them all.
Hey.
This was a bit crazy, this match.
Yeah.
The stakes were super high, and a lot happened.
Strap in.
Strap in. I probably haven't got a huge amount. Okay, the highlights for me. Bandido holding Jericho up in a delayed vertical suplex for a full 60 count. I wouldn't say 60 seconds because they don't count proper seconds because it's crowd counting.
It was probably close enough to it, though.
Was.
I think it was definitely closer than when they're doing Claudio swings.
And it's like they get to 20. It's like keep going, and
like,
it keeps going. And it gets to 40, and you can see him shaking.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit there.
He's never going to go past 50, and then he goes all the way to 60, and like on 60, delivers the suplex. It's insane. I don't think I've seen anyone hold a delayed vertical suplex for that long.
Bobby Lashley's probably the longest I've seen.
Yeah.
He's usually about 30 seconds.
He doesn't usually count.
No.
The crowd might, but so that was amazing. What do we have? Okay, the next bit sort of leads into the finish, but it's a bit of a long way around. But well, I think we're
just feel that I like when the match started, Jericho, so the bell rings. What's the first thing Jericho does? Just runs in and hits a code breaker straight off the bat. And he goes for the pin, and it's almost a 3, and it's like, what the hell? And then Jericho's just pounding, he's just grounding and pounding. It's so aggressive in that opening sort of first few minutes. And I think that's something that Jericho needs to do a lot more of. It's less like, hi guys, and more like, boom, 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 boom. You know, I think he's obviously taking this a bit more serious because he wants to rip that mask off of Bandido and retain his title. And I feel this Jericho's a lot more serious than we've seen in recent sort of matches and whatnot. And I really like that. I really like the serious side of Jericho.
Yeah, it's amazing. And against Bandido as well, who's like got so much talent. And they're very different styles of wrestling, and but they work. They work really well. You've got the contrast between them. It's really good. So Bryan Keith comes out and distracts the ref. Gravity then comes out to fight him off. So they're sort of brawling, and the ref's trying to sort them out. And Jericho then brings out Floyd, the baseball bat, and hits Bandido with it.
So while I didn't see where he was hiding that until after he was trying to smuggle it back into its place.
So he then slots it back into its place between the steps and the turnbuckle. All while the ref's distracted. He then very, very slowly crawls towards Bandido and pins him.
I thought he was going to kick out. He's going to kick out.
The count is pretty slow because the ref's just being distracted. But yeah, it gets to 3. So Jericho wins.
So just before we go any further than that, on the back of that, and you sort of mentioned that Bryan Keith hobbles down to the ring. And I did wonder at that point, I didn't want to mention it because obviously it's a bit of a spoil for this match, that maybe that's why Bryan Keith wasn't involved in the tag team title match much. Maybe he did something to his leg or knee early on.
Maybe.
And maybe that's why he wasn't in the match much, possibly.
Yeah, I kind of thought he just got a bit injured during the match.
Maybe. I don't know, but it's this hobbling down here. I mean, that was, 4 matches ago now?
Yeah,
at that point?
he was
3, 4
definitely
matches?
limping.
Not even that, more than that. So I'm wondering if he maybe tweaked his knee or something. Maybe they were protecting him and keeping him out of the match, maybe.
Yeah, quite possibly. So then this is all, we're sort of in shock, being like,
Bandido's going to have to take his mask off.
That's huge.
What the hell?
Huge. But then the camera pans to Aubrey talking to Bandido's mother and sister, and they're gesticulating that there was cheating going on. Then Aubrey gets them to show her where the bat is, and which they do. And then they overturn the decision and restart the match.
I love the way that Aubrey pulled it out and she looks at that and she looks at Jericho.
Aubrey's great.
Scolding him like a school type teacher, you know.
Aubrey's my favourite.
That was one thing I'm not a big fan of this match, is the mother and the sister showing up all the time.
Yeah.
And I get it, it's part of the story, it's part of the family thing. But it just felt a bit too forced. Like Bandido's just at the beginning of the match or early in the match, he takes him outside, Jericho, throws him into the barrier, goes over, instead of capitalizing on beating up Jericho, hugs his mother.
Yeah, it's a bit, they're just getting in the way.
You know? And then the match is being restarted and they start jumping around and it's like, this looks so embarrassing.
Jumping around like they're in a cartoon and
this
just won something.
So embarrassing for them.
Oh, bless you.
You know?
But anyway, so the second section of the match doesn't last very long at all. Bandido hits a 21 flex and pins Jericho to win.
It's the new Ring of Honor champion.
This whole thing felt really strange because
It did.
we knew how high the stakes were. When Jericho apparently won, you felt it. My gut kind of drops. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe they're gonna do this. And then they overturn that just essentially on the word of outsiders.
Yeah.
When no one saw, the refs did not see Jericho using
Ref
that
can't
bat.
call what they don't see, and a referee's decision is final. Bandido
Just because it was there doesn't mean it was used. In the past, when they've overturned decisions of the ref, it's because another ref saw what happened. So it feels like really a bit disingenuous that they overturned it like
what
this.
What they probably should have done is Jericho pulls the bat out fine, clocks Bandido with it fine, puts it into the corner where it's just laying on the mat. So then you go 1, 2, 3. Ref goes up to signal for the 3, and then he sees the bat and he's like,
so before the decision is communicated.
Hang on a minute. Because then Jericho's like, that's a 3 count. I've won. And the ref's like, why is that bat there?
Yeah.
That would have worked better. And then you can kind of see the family, the sister, the mother, etc. going, he used the bat. And he's like, right, okay. That's a bit more believable.
Yes. But
in my mind.
The ref had declared a winner. Decision should be final. If the ref didn't see it, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't a fan of this.
And to add to it, having that second section of the match be so short and decisive makes it feel really inauthentic. Because, fair enough, Jericho was probably like, oh no, my belt's been taken off me. I haven't actually won.
He threw it away. He didn't even. He kind of tossed it to the side.
But he would have been ready then.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the 21 plex came immediately. He would have been.
Match is restarting. Threw his belt down. Boom, 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 boom.
So not at all that I want Bandido to lose his mask at all. Yeah. But I think the way they've done it, I wasn't really very happy with it.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. In terms of predictions, we predicted Bandido would win the title, and obviously, technically, that's what we did get.
Yeah,
we did. At the end of the day, we did get that.
We did. I mean, I guess they can't get everything right, can they? I really love AEW, but not every decision is going to be something that I agree with. Yeah. And other people might have found this really good, and that is fine. So.
Yeah, that referee restarting thing was a bit naff. Yeah, I didn't like that.
All right. Are you ready for some filler?
Uh-oh. Oh,
brace yourself.
Here we go. How much we got?
It's a Double or Nothing ad.
Right.
There's an All-In ad.
Right.
That's it.
Hey!
There is no more filler for the rest of the show.
Gotta love Tony Khan. Now, so I'm gonna throw this out there. Okay. There's more matches on this show, including including the 0 hour, because there's only 2 matches on there. There's 10 matches on Dynasty, top to bottom on the main card. Yeah. Right? We've currently got 8 WrestleMania matches booked across 2 nights?
And that's 2 nights, yeah.
And you just know those things are gonna be 4 hours each. How much filler are we going to get for WrestleMania?
Pretty fast forward.
Yes. Anyway, continuing.
As long as I got enough time to write it all down, we're fine.
Yeah.
All right, so our next match then, we've got Daniel Garcia versus Adam Cole for the TNT Championship. There is no time limit, no outside interference.
Boom. Sorry. Boom.
So I don't know if it was because of the emotional roller coaster of the previous match, or just because of how fast-paced and hard-hitting a lot of the matches were, but this one felt quite slow. Partly, it might have been a good thing. It sort of brings it down a bit, helps you relax a little bit. But compared to the other matches we've had, it sort of felt definitely slower paced.
Yeah, I think definitely slower paced, but I wouldn't say any less hard-hitting.
No, it was definitely... I'm not saying it's a bad match.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess it felt different. And it's partly because of the no interference, no outside interference kind of rule there. It meant, I think we mentioned it on the predictions, that this is forcing them to have like a straight wrestling match. And not many of the matches we've had the rest of the show have been straight wrestling matches with various interference and all this. So it kind of just felt different, but really good. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I really liked this match.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the storyline into the ankle injury. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Adam Cole's ankle will never be 100% ever again, the way it's shattered. Yeah. But the way they played into it, obviously he's fine. He's got the plates, he's got the bones, he's got the screws and whatnot holding all together. And obviously he knows what he's doing. He's being careful. He probably leads with his other foot. So I think it's the left ankle is buggered. So he's obviously going to try and land more on the right and try and compensate. And I just love the way that they played into it. And it's like when he tried to hit that Panama Sunrise outside, and he obviously misses. He lands on the outside onto the padding, and you're like, and he buckles and he drops, and everyone's like, oh my god! And even you were like, oh god, did he hurt his ankle again? I just got to show how good Adam Cole is at selling stuff, you know.
And the rest of the match then, because quite often you get an injury being sold, and then a few moves down the line it's sort of forgotten
I'm fine now. Yeah.
But the whole rest of the match, it was being sold so realistically that it's like, how do you then figure out if it's real or not? And that's what we want from
it's that meme, isn't it?
Mm.
Adam Cole.
You know.
This date, last night, April 6th, was the 17th anniversary of him entering the wrestling business.
Wow.
So
love it.
Yeah,
that's very nice.
17 years. And then you got people like Booker T saying he's not worth anything. Jackass.
Shut up, Booker T. I've written down Panama Sunrise on the outside.
I'm pretty sure there was one.
There was one.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Anything else I wanted to say about it?
From the steps onto Danny.
Yes, that's right. From the steps. I think because I was.
Because you were like, oh, now he's got to get him in the ring. It's like, it's all right. He probably weighs 90 pounds, soaking wet.
He's a little boy. He did the dancing thing. Garcia did the dancing thing. But it was quite. It was like, was it in the surfboard? It's that kind of a move where he's got his legs. He's sort of standing on the thighs with the legs tangled around. I don't know. You know what it looks like. I can't describe it without being weird. But yeah, he did the dancing thing on that. So at least he did it while where in a place where it was having an effect. Yeah. Serving a purpose. Still a bit cringy.
Yeah, in a sense.
But it's fine. So we get to the end, and the finishing move is Adam Cole lowering the boom. I don't know how to say that.
After 2 Panama Sunrises.
2 Panama Sunrises. Lowers the boom. Pins Daniel Garcia to win.
And new
TNT champion.
Adam Cole, baby.
What a guy.
Oh, what a guy. We both predicted Cole to get this. And we both got that correct.
Amazing.
That was great, though. I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah. I think it's like a bit of a refresher. It did feel like some people might have got some popcorn during this match, but I mean.
And just to make sure Adam Cole came out wearing gear inspired by Geralt of Rivia.
Oh, I didn't clock that.
So nice. I saw it in the front, and you can see the straps and whatnot. I was like, that's Witcher gear.
I remember is thinking it's brown.
And then when you turn, I think you're out of the room at that point.
Yeah, probably.
And then when you turn around, you can see the Witcher, the logo on the back of it.
That would be why I didn't clock it. I had left the room.
Yeah, so that was really cool. So obviously Adam Cole's a massive gamer.
Yes. I love how close wrestling and gaming is. There's so many links.
Wrestling, gaming, and metal. Let's go.
So good. All right, are you ready for this next match?
I don't think anyone was.
Kenny Omega versus Ricochet versus Speedball Mike Bailey for the AEW International Championship. It's a triple threat. Speedball has I think it's called a gi, but it's a frog. He had frog ears on it.
That's all we had. He's a frog. He's a frog. He's a frog. Oh my god!
It's delightful. So we had this ring gear all had green and patterns on it, and he's a frog. I wonder why. Does he just like frogs, or is it
just got different ones for different animals?
Maybe I want to see if he's got different ones. Maybe he's got a dinosaur one.
Just to keep an eye on.
Yes. This match was great. This was excellent. You've got Ricochet starting off being on the outside because he's smart and also terrified.
Smart.
He's a coward. And then sort of trying to get in and take opportunities, but then realizing it's not the right opportunity and getting chased back out to the outside. Excellent. You get both Speedball and Omega taking turns slapping his head and yelling "bold" at him at one point. So
on the outside, yeah.
Yeah.
Bold smack.
They were hitting hard as well. You had a moment in time where all 3 of them were pinning both of the others.
Oh god, yeah, that was nuts.
They sort of took turns just doing double pins, which is crazy. And the poor ref is counting with both arms just in case. Obviously they didn't go anywhere in the end. Speedball backflipping into a knee drop while Ricochet is stacked on Omega. It was such a good move. I loved that. But then he tried a second one on Ricochet on the ring apron. And Ricochet moves. So instead he backflips and knee drops just onto the ring apron.
That makes me cringe. The sight and the sound of it, oh my god.
It's the hardest part of the ring, you know.
That was really nasty.
And then this is another occasion of really good, well, in some parts really good selling. There was some bit weird looking bits.
He's a screamer.
He screamed a lot. And there was one bit where he ended up like basically shuffling backwards for a long time.
That was really, from one end of the ring to the other. That was really weird.
He's probably going to look back at the tape of that and be like, "Oh, I'm not doing that again."
Yeah, but Tony Khan, he went back and he went,
"What was that?" It's fine.
No more froggy shuffles. Okay?
Okay,
Mr. Speedball.
Mr. Speedball.
Don't froggy shuffle across the ring again, okay?
So playing into this knee thing, Ricochet especially is attacking the knee quite a lot. And at one point, it looks like Speedball basically can't stand up on that knee. And then he goes into a full like crane pose. Full on Karate Kid.
Didn't Ricochet be like, that's not going to work?
You're going to have to jump on the bad knee to make the other knee kick. But then Speedball pulls off the crane kick, I think it would have been. But it's very Karate Kid.
Catch him right and then throw it out of the face. Yeah.
It's good. But then obviously he's landed on the bad knee. So then he stumbles back into the ropes. He's fine. But I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah.
You've got three very different styles of wrestling.
It just didn't stop.
I think I mentioned before how Speedball Mike Bailey's really captured my imagination. I feel like his style is something we haven't really seen much in wrestling, because he's a lot of the kicks and spinning and stuff.
I think the person going back to sort of 90s, the person I would probably liken him to was a guy called Steve Blackman.
Mm-hmm.
He was a martial artist. He would come out with, I don't know the exact term. I think it was like two sticks, and he would twirl.
Oh yeah.
And then that would be his kind of entrance in the middle of the ring. But he was very much martial arts. He was very martial arts discipline. And he would do a lot of kicks and stuff like that. Not so much the back flippy and all that kind of stuff, because I wasn't that generation. But he kind of reminds me of Steve Blackman, but more of a younger and more current generation kind of martial artist, you know.
While also still being from the 80s somehow.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's so good. Yeah, it's so good.
Mr. Mullet.
I feel like I focused a lot on the knee stuff and Bailey, but I mean, we can't forget Kenny Omega, who just shone through this whole match. He's so good.
2 feet less of intestines in his body, and he's still crushing it.
Yeah, they even like referenced on commentary. Yeah. We're going to be talking about this for the rest of his career, but he has had this surgery.
Yeah, and there was some targetings to his midsection as well.
It was excellent. I mean, a lot of it was seeing Kenny and Bailey in the ring together. Something about that really works. And then Ricochet just like coming in and just getting in the way and having his own stuff going on.
Yeah.
But, which worked in a very Ricochet way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he wasn't like part of it in the same way, you know, but it was a different kind of interaction, but they all played off each other so well. I very much enjoyed this match.
Mm-hmm. And there was a point where Kenny, I think, had a knee bar on Mike Bailey, and Ricochet just on the ropes just bounces off him and hits a springboard 450 off the ropes. And I'm just like, okay.
So good. So we've got everyone ends up in the corner. You got Speedball sat on the turnbuckle. Ricochet's trying to do something, but it's not really working. And Kenny Omega gets up there and manages to set Ricochet up for the one-winged angel from the turnbuckle. Hits that. Speedball, from sitting up there, is trying to get down to do something, but gets caught upside down, like, is it Tree of Woe?
Tree of Woe, yeah. Yeah, this is literally that, Tree of Woe.
So he's completely caught up in the turnbuckle.
Caught underneath that turnbuckle, yeah.
Which allows Kenny to get the pin on Ricochet, and Kenny wins.
Brilliant. So good.
It's a really good finish.
Yeah, that was so good.
How else? It's so hard in like a triple threat to completely neutralize someone so that you can
that
get
old
a pin.
Hit a move, throw him up the ring, hit a move in the other guy. It's like, all right, that's been done to me. And this is kind of thinking outside that box.
Yeah, definitely.
The guy's hung up in the rope, in the turnbuckle. He can't physically get out of it because he's hung
trying.
there. And you could even at the end, he managed to sort of grab onto Ricochet's ankle. At that point, it was too late.
Yeah.
Because the three had sort of just coming down. It was like three, and you kind of, if you watch it back, he's kind of grabbing Ricochet's ankle to try and get some purchase on something, you know, but. Yeah, just didn't go anywhere.
So Kenny wins.
In terms of predictions, we both predicted the best bout machine to retain. Mm-hmm. My boy, Kenny Omega. Yeah. And guess what? He retains. Now, I am surprised a little bit.
Yeah.
I felt that they were going to have him beat Mike Bailey.
Yeah.
And then Ricochet would be like, total heel move. You didn't beat me. You didn't beat me. Give me a shot at that title. But it was Ricochet that got pinned. So now does Speedball go, well, I deserve a title shot?
Maybe. I think
That doesn't
I'll
seem
think
like
away
Mike
back.
Bailey's thing, though.
But it might be more right, I'm going to go away.
Yeah.
I'm going to get better.
This is kind of what I'm
gonna
thinking,
come
yeah.
back.
This is kind of what I'm thinking. He might go, look, I'm not asking for a title shot now, but down the line, I will see you again.
Mm-hmm.
I think that will be the kind of thing that Mike Bailey would do as Ricochet as he is. He'd just like, give me a title match. No, you didn't pay me, pal.
Exactly.
You know?
Amazing.
But
after the match, Kazuchika Okada comes out. They have a very brief but intense face-off in the ring before Kenny heads off because he's had enough.
I think one of the commentators said, "Oh, he's retreating. He's by bailing or something. Whatever. I can't remember what term they used." I'm like, dude, he just had a 30-minute plus barn burner with two guys of top caliber. Yes. He's not bailing. He's just choosing his moment.
Yeah,
you know
exactly. He doesn't want anything going down right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that brings us to your favorite part of the show.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, here we go.
Leanne signs of the pay-per-view. Leanne signs of the pay-per-view. I was getting a bit frustrated in this show because there were a lot of signs that I couldn't make out because there were too many words and the camera didn't stay on them long enough. But it's fine because we've got enough to go with. So in third place, we have YFTRY. And this is mainly because
writing on the wall, right?
that sign didn't show up until the betrayal happened. So that person had that sign this whole time thinking, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Otherwise, that sign's completely useless. But yeah, they must have been so excited to use it. It was good stuff. In second place, Forever a Jericho-holic.
Nice. I missed that one. Nice.
It's nice because some people still love Jericho.
Yeah, I like Jericho.
There has been less of the Jericho hate visibly out there lately, which is good because he's amazing. So it's fine.
He's a national treasure, damn it.
He is. Which national? Which nation?
Canada, right?
Canada.
He's Canadian.
And in first place, which is appropriate for the match we just watched, Bald is better. This is the counter to everything. All of those chants and the slaps. Bald is better. Let's give some love to our bald men out there. They can't always help it.
Oh my god.
Some women like it.
Why is this turning into an infomercial?
It's just with all of the hate, it's nice to have a little bit of love. So if you or someone you know is the proud owner of the winner of the Unsigned to the pay-per-view, drop us a comment, leave a picture, and we will recognize your achievement in some way. So thanks for tuning in to Leanne Signs of the Pay-Per-View. Leanne Signs of the Pay-Per-View. Guess what?
I got an eyelash on my eye.
Oh no.
Carry on.
It's time for the main event. We got that. So we've got Jon Moxley versus Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Championship. Swerve has a superhero entrance. There's lightning. He seemingly appears out of nowhere. It's beautiful.
Why does it feel like you're reading an audiobook right now?
Very badly. It's like always slightly shaky voice. I'd be a terrible person to read an audiobook. So the guess is it's that he's
looks kind of like Black Lightning.
I think he had similar
maybe Static Shock, but
like yellow. I mean, there's lightning on it, so it's probably lightning related. It was very cool though, the like visual effects and everything. Awesome. And then they just have this really hard-hitting fight, and it's great. What have I written down? Flying through the announce desk. Oh, they did that. They literally, I think, Excalibur took a knee.
It looked like was it Mox's knees that kind of slammed into Excalibur as he's trying to
bail out of the table.
There was a non-PG comment made by one of the commentators as they realised what was happening.
Yeah,
like
it's fine.
split
It's a
second before they get thrown over, and it's like, oh.
Whoops.
And then they've even got a camera pointing towards the commentators as it happens.
It's like,
oh my god!
Do they know that there is a planned spot going through the table, or
judging by that reaction, I don't think so.
I always sort of thought they'd get a heads up so they can like move anything valuable off or whatever. But, it didn't seem like they knew that was coming. We've got Marina Shafir. I always get her name wrong. Marina Shafir. Enters the ring with a briefcase.
I tried to ask what you've written down.
I just wrote Shafir, which is a bad move because I didn't give myself a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So she enters with the briefcase to try and hit Swerve with it. Prince Nana gets in the ring, stands in between and argues with her, takes the briefcase off her. And then Moxley comes in. I think it was a stunner he tried to get on Swerve. But Swerve pushes Shafir in the way and she takes it instead.
Yeah.
Is it a stunner or something similar?
I think it was some sort of cutter. Yeah,
cutter.
It was like a diamond cutter almost.
That kind of thing. So yeah, he attacked Shafir.
Did you mention what Nana against smacked the briefcase?
I didn't think he got snapped. I thought he took
Yeah,
it.
he turned around, I think, and Marina Shafir smacked him with it.
Oh, I must have been writing when that was happening.
Rightly, yeah. He definitely took a hit of some sort. I'm pretty sure it was the briefcase.
Then we had a ladder spot at some point where they both the ladder's set up like next to the Spanish announce table.
It's always the Spanish announce
which is
table.
Vacant, so they knew something was coming. But I guess if someone sets up a ladder next to
the
table,
I sure as hell would be sitting there waiting.
Get out of the way.
Oh, what's going on here? What's this ladder doing here? Oh, look at that. Oh, wait.
So there's a bit of back and forth. You don't know who's going to take what from this ladder. And then it's a Swerve stomp. So Swerve stomps Moxley off the ladder through the Spanish announce table, which is pretty cool.
Crazy.
Ref takes a chair to the face. That's a nasty ref bump.
Cool, Turner.
And this starts a whole chain of events where Hangman Adam Page comes out.
Yes.
You're like, oh, something's going on.
And you don't know quite who he's going to go for, though.
Yes, because you've got both Swerve and Moxley there in prime position. And he's like looking between them. But he seems, whether we imagined it or not, I don't know, to be dwelling on Moxley.
He almost sort of twisted his body very slightly. It was very subtle, but he definitely was locked on Moxley. Absolutely.
But before he could do anything, the rest of the Death Riders come out to stop him.
Yeah.
But Hangman clears him out. He like wrecks him for a bit, which is great. And then hits a Deadeye on Moxley. Then the Death Riders continue to attack him until the Ops come out and equalize. And
Hangman kind of gets slammed into the stairs. And he lays there for the rest of the match.
So we talked about the Hangman Swerve kind of dynamic, where that seemed to be going in our predictions. And it seems like things are looking like...
Yeah, it's certainly progressing in that way.
Looking towards Hangman and Swerve being besties.
I don't know if besties is the right... This kind of reminds me of, slight tangent, WWE... I don't know if you were watching it at that point. I can't remember when it was. Sheamus and Claudia and Cesaro, the bar.
Yes.
So they were beating seven bells out of each other all the time. The GM at the time, who I don't remember who it was, said, "Look, you're gonna have a best of 7 series."
Oh yeah.
And it came to like a draw because the last match, like I can't remember what happened, but it came to a draw. It was many years ago now, and then they ended up tagging together, one of the best tag teams in the company. And I kind of feel like that maybe is kind of the slight kind of route they're going down. These guys hate each other. Doesn't mean they don't respect each other's work ethic and can go in the ring, you know? They're not going to be best of friends ever.
Well, you never know.
But who's to say they can't team up, kick some ass, take some gold, you know?
For sure. Okay, and then we come to the finish. if we haven't had enough excitement during this match. So it looks like...
Hart can take it.
So the ref is still out at this point, but Swerve's got the upper hand and is about to try and pin Moxley, whether a ref turns up or not.
Yeah, I think he hits him with a couple of house calls, he slams him with a stomp, and then he's starting to crawl over, I think, if I remember rightly.
Then the lights go out. And when they come back on, the Young Bucks are in the ring.
EVPs are back!
With one of each of Swerve's arms, and they hit an EVP trigger on Swerve. Marina Shafir pushes the ref back in. He's fine. Everything's okay.
Wow.
He's not.
Wow.
Mox gets on to pin Swerve, and the ref manages to get a 3 count in. Moxley wins and retains.
Thanks to the Bucks.
The Bucks are back.
Young Bucks are back.
Very pleased with
Hell
themselves.
yes.
So is it them who Death Riders have been working for?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is this just another layer in the puzzle?
I don't know.
Find out next time on, I don't know when, in a future show, potentially a whole year down the line.
But hey, Leanne, AEW doesn't do storytelling. In terms of predictions, we predicted Moxley to retain, and guess what? We win.
Yay! We win.
Just double check. Yeah, we both got Moxley.
We win.
Yeah. So in terms of that, I had one buy and you had one wrong.
That's pretty good.
If I picked Mercedes, I would have had a clean sweep.
Yeah, and that's pretty good. And if I'd thought to put a desired result in, we'd have been equal.
I mean, is that pretty good or is it pretty bad? We never get this close to getting all these right with AEW.
We don't. So
are we just getting
mean,
better at this?
Or are they getting more predictable?
Yes.
I feel like some of the stuff that happened, though, like especially with the Jericho match, even though I'm not really happy with how that finish happened, there was definitely unexpected stuff in there. And we did not expect the Young Bucks to come back.
Oh, hell no.
I think we were literally talking today about how the Young Bucks have been away for a bit and they're probably like having a nice rest or doing stuff elsewhere. And having
last time I saw them, they were losing the IWGP Heavyweight World Tag Team Champions to Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi.
Mm-hmm. Did not see them coming back for this show.
No. I'm happy they are. This is going to be great.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the same with Anthony Bowens.
Yes, another that was pretty unexpected.
Yeah. I kind of was thinking, well, it's going to be someone from outside the company. Maybe they're going to bring someone in, like Kushida or Josh Alexander, something like that. No, friggin' Anthony Bowens. Let's go. And I knew he was going to come to a head at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was too soon or not, but it certainly felt good in the moment.
Yeah.
But reflecting back on it, maybe it was too soon.
Because what happens then with this whole Max Caster thing?
With the open challenge
thing, from here?
Like, does he do an open challenge and here comes Anthony Bowens to screw his parade again?
It just comes out every time.
Every time, yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking, yeah.
It could happen.
Or Billy Gunn takes the next one, you know? Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Okay, what was your least enjoyed match?
It's actually quite hard because I don't think there was a fully bad match on this card. I have gone for the Mercedes and Julia Hart one.
Yeah.
But through no fault of Julia's, I sound terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But it wasn't a bad match, and there were really good moments in it. There were also some slip-ups, but there were slip-ups in other matches as well. So I don't want to be unfair about it.
Yeah.
But out of all of them, I think that one just comes in slightly under for me.
For purely the finish and the way it got handled, Jericho and Bandido.
Yeah, that's fair.
I really didn't like that. It's like, you've committed, Jericho's won, let's go. If you're going to do that, you can't go, oh, well, this person said, because otherwise you can go, oh, hang on, that guy right in the back there, see that guy there? I think he's saying something went wrong. It's a bad precedent to set, and you can't do that. I really didn't like that. Yeah, I
agree. I think the only reason that one wasn't the bottom for me was the sort of in-ring stuff that did happen.
Yeah.
That was... I very much.
I might be showing some favoritism to Julia in the hands of Hell, but
but that's okay.
Yeah,
these favourites and least favourites are a very personal choice.
What was your favourite match?
I'm gonna go with the triple threat.
Yeah.
Oh, I enjoyed that so much.
That's match of the contender for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely, the hands down. For me, it was that, and before that, leading up to that match, it was without a doubt Ospreay and Kevin Knight.
Oh yeah,
because that was such a great match too. Yeah. But obviously Kenny, Bailey, Ricochet all pulled the stops out. They put on a fantastic show, and that was just incredible.
Doesn't it go to show? So that your top two matches of the night both included someone who has only fairly recently come into AEW.
What does that tell you about building up new stars?
You don't need the same guys in matches all the time in a pay-per-view.
Nope.
So yeah,
it's Ospreay giving the rub to Kevin Knight because Ospreay's a vet.
For sure.
And it's the same with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is the champion, yes. Ricochet is not by any means a newcomer. No. He's not new to the industry. He's not even new to the company. He's been in this since August. Was that 8 months? But Speedball Mike Bailey, he's also not a newcomer, but they're giving him the rub by putting him in this spot in his first pay-per-view and having such a barn burner of a match. Yeah. It's incredible.
Because there's a lot of people like me that haven't watched New Japan stuff and wouldn't know him at all. So having this kind of spot that really give him the rub, like you say, it might not be, he doesn't necessarily need it for a lot of fans who know him already, but for people like me, it's like, oh yeah, this guy's great.
Yeah, it's almost like putting on a performance. It's almost like a CV.
Yes.
Your first couple of matches in a company is your CV to show fans why they should be invested in you. Yeah,
exactly.
Kevin Knight has had 2 single matches and a tag match up to this point. All 3 of those matches have been stellar. Yeah. Mike Bailey's had, 3 matches total? All fantastic.
Definitely.
What does that tell you, And people are like, oh, but Ricky Starks has left, and Miro has left, and Malachi Black has left. Am I really annoyed that Malachi Black has left? Yeah. Yes, he's absolutely one of my all-time favorites. But in the sense that all these WWE guys are coming to the company, and all the WWE marks like, oh, AEW is nothing more than a graveyard for WWE guys. But yet you've got Kevin Knight showing up, you've got Speedball Mike Bailey showing up, Kyle Fletcher. Look at the stuff he's been pulling out. Konosuke Takeshita. Look at the stuff he's pulling out. Tell me it's an old WWE graveyard now. It's not. It's absolutely not.
Nope. Well, the people who have come from WWE, a lot of them are going back. That's fine.
Look at Ricochet, right? He came from WWE because
Yes,
they
he
were
did.
literally sitting him in catering and doing nothing with him.
And he's got a great storyline.
And what's he doing now? Being bold and embracing it and running with it as a heel.
Bold is better.
Which is so good. And he's been phenomenal since he's come into this company.
Definitely.
You know? Cool. All right, what's next then, Leanne?
Next is WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. So, WrestleMania is on the 19th and 20th of April.
Yes.
As we're recording this, it is the 7th. We are away for the week leading up to WrestleMania. So, therefore, we cannot do our predictions in that week. Therefore, we're doing them this coming week.
Lucky you.
So
WrestleMania comes early.
I scheduled them in for Friday, so we're going to record after Raw because we're leaving. I'm not going to give specifics, but later on this week we're going to be away for about a week, so we're not going to be able to do predictions next week for WrestleMania. So we're doing them after this week's Raw. Anything much like we'll cover a prediction anyway, but anything that happens between then and the sort of WrestleMania we'll add into the prediction anyway. But, so that's going to be that. But WrestleMania is next, and I after this. The build for WrestleMania has been awful.
Yes.
The matches are just shoehorned in. Since when does the Royal Rumble winner, the person who wins the Royal Rumble, should main event WrestleMania, correct?
Yeah.
Is Jey Uso main event in WrestleMania? Nope.
Unless they do the thing where they have 6 main events.
Nope. Nah, it's crap. Main event
it should be
is the last match on the show.
Yes.
There's 2 main events.
Saying.
One of them is not Jey Uso, and that's bull.
Yeah.
Absolute crap. Anyway, take us away.
On that cheerful note, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your support so much. Please like this video to show if you liked it so we can keep on doing stuff. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Follow us on our socials. Our link tree's in the description below, which will take you to Facebook, Instagram, and X. You can talk to us there or talk to us in the comments below. Let us know what your top or least top, lowest, bottom match
least liked
of the show was, and what you're looking forward to in the future of AEW based on storylines that seem to have maybe been set up. Let us know. So that's it for now, until we see you on Friday-ish for our WrestleMania predictions.
Go rewatch Dynasty.
Go rewatch Dynasty, because it's a great show. Bye!
Bullet Club.